And as a reminder, the meeting is being streamed via Facebook Live and the city website.
Thank you so much. I now call this meeting to order of the Floresville City Council special meeting for June the 30th, 2021, 5 p.m. I call this meeting to order. Please rise. Join me in the invocation followed by a pledge of allegiance in Texas. Dear Father in heaven, we come to you tonight asking for wisdom and courage to go forward with the best decisions possible for the city of Floresville. Help us, guide us, and direct us. We thank you for the wonderful rains that you have sent and for the protection that you give us on a day-to-day basis. Thank you, Lord, for all your blessings. For it's in your name we pray. Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
We do have a forum for tonight's meeting in attendance. Mr. Villarreal, Mrs. Martinez, and Ms. Jimenez. Thank you so much for being here. If one other council member comes, we will recognize her at that time.
Okay, Mayor, if I could just get you to speak a little closer to your mic so it'll pick it up, please.
Okay, there you go. I'm going to try hard. Okay, any citizens' comments at this moment?
There were no citizens' comments submitted.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to new business, consideration and action to approve resolution 2021-013, a resolution of the city of Floresville authorizing the execution of a funding agreement with the Floresville 4A Municipal Corporation concerning payment responsibilities for the cost of financing, operating, and maintaining the Lauro de Leon Event Center. Our finance director, I'll hand that over to you, or any explanation.
We are going to need to table that item. It was not passed on the 4A meeting, so we need to table that until it is passed before 4A. We just need to do a few corrections.
Council, I will entertain a motion to table item 1A.
Mayor, may I ask the reason for tabling this item?
Yes, ma'am. If I may answer, we are working out the details with the 4A. We did take it to the 4A. There was some questions with the 4A attorney in regards to the language that would be suitable for the 4A to approve and then for us to bring to council. Our finance director has been working with the bond counsel and the financial advisor to ensure that the wording is correct.
Any other comments?
Yes. So will it be solved as far as it will be done, or what, Mississippi?
Yes, it will be done. It's just, we all need to have a meeting just to make sure everybody's on the same page and in agreement, and then it'll go to the special meeting.
Okay, thank you.
And one more comment, Mayor, if I may, to the council for clarification. We did discuss the article in the paper at our 4B meeting in regards to what was published, and we reiterated that the issue of those monies is procedural for the accounting purposes of the new auditor requirement. It is not a, go ahead, Ms.
Right. No, in that it is, it's just an accounting standard. It's a non-cash transaction because we did have the cash to pay those items. It's just for accounting books, so it's an accounting standard. It's just generally accepted accounting practices that we had to address it. So that's the 1.2 million.
That would be for straight records, in other words?
Correct.
If I may speak, Mayor,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Alfredo Padilla here on behalf of City Rodriguez. She had reviewed the proposal, and as far as the body is concerned, she had no problem with it. There might be some technicality, but the majority she's okay with it.
And at the end of the day, it's something that we're working out with the authorities, the proper people in regards to our finances, so that we can have that documented correctly. As we stated, we do have the funds to operate our city, and we continue to have funds to move the city forward.
Could I get the name of the, I'm sorry, I can't read it from here, the gentleman who's representing City of Rodriguez?
It's Alfredo Padilla.
Thank you, Mr. Padilla.
Mayor, I do have another question if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
So I guess for accounting purposes, so the entire time since it, the election was held in 2004 for, taxing this entity. So from 2004 until now, we were making payments, but it just wasn't documented correctly.
It was always addressed as an ongoing concern that the general fund is covering for 4A and never put on the books.
As a corporation sales tax.
Well, no. I mean, they were receiving their sales tax, but there's not enough sales tax to cover both bond payments and operating. So the city has to come in and cover those from the general fund. So, and that's where it's coming from, the general fund.
Which is what we've been doing this whole time.
Correct. Yes, so that's where that balance has been accumulating from.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. Any other questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to table item 1A.
I make a motion to table item 1A until the 4A municipal corporation has their meeting and brings it back to council.
I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I second, Mayor.
Seconded by Mrs. Martinez. All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
Is this for 1A?
Yes.
For table it?
Yes. Did you want to vote on that?
Can I table it? Table it, yes.
Okay. So unanimous opposed on the 4-0. Thank you, Council. Moving on to item B, consideration action to approve resolution 2021-014, a resolution to direct the public funds to be utilized for the purchase of the Floresville Electric Light and Power, known as PHELPS, located at 1400 4th Street, Floresville, Texas, comprised of approximately 1.523 acres and 1146 U.S. Highway 181 South, Floresville, Texas, comprising of approximately 7.1 acres. Mr. Reed, from our FEDC, I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor over to you. You have anything?
Actually, Mayor and Council, I'm going to ask, so this agenda was prepared in a very short time frame. So item 1B, 1C, and 1D will not pertain to council action that needs to be taken. The only item that council will need to take action on is going to be the first reading of item 1E. Items B, C, and D were for FEDC approval only, not council approval. And that's basically giving the approval for FEDC to bring it to the council. Now, as we've done in the past, the resolution for FEDC will require 2 readings. This will be the first reading, and we will have a second reading in our next regular scheduled meeting.
So, Council, so we go to Wendy.
Yeah, so B, C, and D, I'm not going to make a vote of no action, but if we just want to move on, how
You don't have to take a vote.
We have to take a vote on
Yes.
each item.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, each item. Okay, I will entertain a motion. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Padilla, did you have something to say?
No, Madam City has no problem with any of these motions. This is no problem.
All right, concerning 1B, I will entertain a motion, well, it's no action on item 1B. Do we need to take a vote on that?
Yes, Mayor, you do.
Okay, I will entertain a motion for no action on item 1B.
I move that we take no action for 1B, Mayor.
Okay, I have a motion, do I have a second?
I second.
Seconded by Ms. Jimenez. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Would be the same for item C. I will go ahead and read it. Consideration action to approve resolution 2021-015, a resolution to move forward with consultation and action directed by Victor Quiroga, financial advisor, regarding the approval of bond funding for the reimbursement of the funds utilized for the purchase of said property, known as the purchase of the Floresville Electric Light and Power, located at 1400 4th Street, Floresville, Texas, comprised of approximately 1.52 acres and 1146 U.S. Highway 181 South, Floresville, Wilson County, Texas, comprising of approximately 7.1 acres. I will entertain a motion for no action. So moved. I have a motion. Do I have a second? I second. Thank you. Any citizens' comments? If none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Item, no action. 4-0. Moving on to item D, consideration action to approve resolution 2021-016, a resolution to authorize the FEDC executive director to request that the intended purchase of the property known as the Floresville Electric Light and Power, Phelps, located at 1400 4th Street, Floresville, Texas, comprised of approximately 1.52 acres, and 1146 U.S. Highway 181 South, Floresville, Wilson County, Texas, comprised of approximately 7.1 acres to be posted on the City of Floresville City Council agenda for consideration and approval of Resolution 2021-016 to approve and authorize the expenditures of funds for the purchase of said property. I will entertain a motion for no action.
Make the motion to do no action.
I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Motion by Ms. Jimenez, seconded by Ms. Jimenez. Citizens' comments? If none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Item passes 4-0.
So I just wanted to let you know that all of these items did pass at lunch today, and then we'll be coming back to you with other readings and other proposals as we get further down the road.
Okay. Moving on to item E, consideration action to approve resolution 2021-017. It's the first reading, a resolution to authorize the FEDC executive director to request that the Floresville City Council maintain 2 separate readings of the resolution authorizing the purchase of the Floresville Electric Light and Power, known as Phelps, located at 1400 4th Street, Floresville, Texas, comprised of approximately 1.52 acres, and 1146 Highway 181 South, Floresville, Wilson County, comprised of approximately 7.1 acres.
So with that being said, I'm going to read the resolution. First,
Yes, please.
reading. I've been kind of winded today with what I've gone in the past. I'm going to ask Charlotte to read it for you.
Resolution number 2021-017, resolution of the City Council of the City of Floresville, Texas, approving projects of the Floresville Economic Development Corporation that may include land, buildings, equipment, facilities, expenditures, targeted infrastructure, and improvements found by the Floresville Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors to promote new or expanded business development within the City of Floresville, providing for severability and establishing an effective date. Whereas the Floresville Economic Development Corporation, FEDC, is a Type B Economic Development Corporation, and whereas Section 505.158 Texas Local Government Code requires that a Type B corporation authorized by a city with a population of 20,000 or less that approves a project requiring an expenditure of $10,000 or more may not undertake the project until the government body of the city adopts a resolution authorizing the project after giving the resolution 2 separate readings. And whereas the Board of Directors of the FEDC have approved the purchase of 1.523 acres located at 1400 4th Street and 1146 U.S. Highway 181 South, Floresville, Texas, which comprises of approximately 7.10 acres, and said project requiring an expenditure of $10,000 or more. And whereas the City Council finds that said project will promote new or expanded business enterprises in and near the City of Floresville. And whereas the action authorized by this resolution is in furtherance of the public interest for the good government, peace, order, trade, and commerce of the city, and necessary and proper for carrying out of the authority granted by law to the city and the EDC. Now therefore, it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Floresville, Texas, Section 1, the recitals contained and the preamble of this resolution are determined to be true and correct and are hereby adopted as a part of this resolution. Section 2, the City Council of the City of Floresville hereby authorizes
approves and authorizes the following projects for which the FEDC may authorize expenditures, provided all other statutory requirements are followed. A, land acquisition. The FEDC may seek land acquisition for projects to continue with business and industrial recruitment and opportunities to grow both business and industrial acreage, and as such, the City Council hereby approves ratifying the purchase of the 1.523 acres located at 1400 4th Street and 1146 U.S. Highway 181 South, which comprise of approximately 7.10 acres, Floresville, Texas, from the Floresville Electric Light and Power System, Phelps. Section 3. It is hereby declared that the sections, paragraphs, and sentences, clauses, and phrases of this resolution are severable, and any phrase, clause, sentence, paragraph, or section of this resolution shall be declared unconstitutional or invalid by the valid judgment or decree of any court or competent jurisdiction. Such unconstitutionality or invalidity shall not affect any of the remaining phrases, clauses, sentences, paragraphs, or sections of this resolution, because the same would have been enacted by the City Council without the incorporation of any such unconstitutional phrase, clause, sentence, paragraph, or section. Section 4. All resolutions and parts thereof in conflict herewith are hereby expressly repealed insofar as they conflict herewith. Section 5. This resolution shall take effect immediately after passage hereof. Section 6. This resolution is read and adopted at a meeting that were open to the public, and notice of the time, place, and purpose of said meetings was given as required by the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. First reading by the City Council of the City of Floresville at first reading on the 30th day of June 2021. Finally passed and approved on its second and final reading by the City Council of the City of Floresville, Texas at second reading on the blank day of blank 2021. Signed this blank day of blank 2021, Honorable Mayor Cecilia Sissy Gonzalez Dickel, and signed by Monica Delis, City Secretary, attested thereto.
Thank you. Any questions or comments by council members?
It says here, it mentions the, I guess you would call it the industrial property that they have around 181 South. I was just curious about the intentions with that.
So we talked about that at lunch today. So what we call an opportunity zone through the Texas-Mexico border, opportunities within an 80-mile radius of the city of San Antonio. So that's what we plan on doing. We plan on kind of shopping this property to different entities and governmental grants that we can work with the different state representatives like Henry Cuellar and Kimball and all them to entice maybe an industrial type business to relocate from out of the U.S. to the U.S. here in Floresville, since we are along the state corridor 181 connecting to 37 through 97. So that's what one of our intentions. If not, we're going to look to turn that into like a mixed-use industrial development to create jobs. And then in your packet, you have what we presented a few weeks back, just for your records, so you have a copy of it to take with you. And so if you do get questions, you have it there in front of you to reference back to and study. And that's the plan we're going to follow. And as we move forward with purchasing this property, we will start working with LPA to design the inside and the layout of the property.
Yes, ma'am.
Ben, is there any talk about maybe reselling this or not?
Yes, so that's the whole goal, is to get it on. We're a tax-free entity, so if we work with a public-private partnership, is to make this a taxing property. So all options are on the table. From that, we're not in the business of running taverns, bars, grills, so we'd like to make it a vision that we'd like to do with our board of directors and with you as a city council, and then find the right fit to run it the way we feel could help benefit and kind of re-energize our downtown. I like to use that word because we've got one shot at doing that. We want to make sure we're as successful as possible behind me. you'll see Victor Quito, the city's financial advisor at FEDC, and he's working with us on some taxable bonds, so we can do a multi-project. So part of it will be the projects of the downtown, the business on 181, and then if we go over the amount said during the bid, that money will have earmarked for certain things. So if we say we took an extra $500,000 off this bond, and we said we want to help with the hike and bike trail up the city with that moving forward, that money will be earmarked for that. Or if we want to redo the depot, which we see as one of our high priorities on redoing the depot, that would be used for that. And then the money set aside to repurpose to fix up these buildings as needed to either A, lease them out, or B, resell them or work as a public-private partnership. So yes. Our ultimate goal is to turn these back into taxing entities for the city and sales tax producing.
Thanks, Ben.
You're welcome.
Any other comments or questions?
When do we anticipate the second reading?
At your next meeting, I will be working with my board to, I'll be putting it in the paper. I have to run it for 2 weeks, so we'll run concurrent with that. And then I'll be working with Victor in the bond thing. So what we did at our meeting this afternoon is we approved to use our current sales tax dollars along with taking out funds. So then we're covered either way. So if we don't miss the deadline, because we're on a strict deadline that we put in with Phelps, that we would do it within so many days, so we don't miss the vote on that. So the second reading would probably...
Second reading will take place at the next regular council meeting, which is scheduled for July the 8th.
And then we'll have to come with some other readings with the taxable bonds.
Thank you.
And put them in the paper as well.
Any other questions or comments? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve resolution, the reading of resolution 2020-017, the first reading.
I have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Jimenez. Do I have a second?
I second.
Seconded by Mrs. Martinez. Any citizens' comments? If none, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Item passes 4-0. Thank you so much. Okay, with no other business on the agenda for our special meeting, this meeting is now concluded at 5:23. We have a 7-minute break before we start our budget workshop. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and as we move forward, we're looking forward to working with y'all, do some tours, and making sure we are on the same page and move forward with the project.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, Charlotte.
Thank you.
Thank you for reading. I know, I should have told you next time. I know what you was ready. No, stop.